Yeah. No, NGR, National Galaxy
Galaxy
Radio.
Radio,
Yeah.
There's a Rebel Reddit page, and
Instagram,
they had the spoilers.
hologram. It's the hologram.
That's
So yeah,
right.
that I think that more than anything got me when the random rebel people started spilling out plot details from the Emperor's plans and capabilities. I was like, oh no, you did not just
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
we're moving
Yeah.
at breakneck speed. We're not only light speeding through some of these plans, we're light speeding through this story. Let's go.
Right, ludicrous speed, really.
So yeah, let's get to this Burning
Yeah.
Man Festival planet.
Okay, so now Ray says they're gonna go. She's gonna go. She's got to go stop this. She's got to stop the Emperor. And so Ray, Finn, or I should say Finn, Poe, Chewie, C-3PO, R2D2, and BB-8 all say they're gonna go with her. Of course, they all go with her. And now we start the rest of the movie.
It's amazing
So that's
that
like
Luke didn't come back and say, "No, you
me
must
too.
complete your training, and if you
Right.
go, I cannot help you."
Right. So I think about this point we're through the first third of the movie.
Oh, not
You
yet.
think we're
No,
even that
we're not.
far?
We're not there. We're almost there.
Not
Oh,
even, yeah, but
We're almost
man,
there.
that should have that should have been a whole movie unto itself
The
right there.
the the Chewie scene, I think, completes the first third act.
Wow.
right,
Wow, they
yes.
really booking it in this movie. All right, so go ahead, tell us about Burning Man.
So they all arrived at the A Force, Ray, Poe, Finn, Chewbacca, BB-8, C-3PO. I'm not sure if that new droid was there yet. Do, whatever.
No, they discovered Dio.
No, they
in
found
the ship.
Dio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they land on this planet. I think it was called Pasana. I'm looking at a couple of Wikipedia actually. That's the name of the planet, Pasana, which is basically Burning Man Festival. Because I'm pretty sure I saw one of those aliens doing like the damn Fortnite dance.
Did you hear him say it happens every 42 years?
Yes, yes, it's been 40 or a cycle of years before the last festival.
Yeah, but 42 years would be the release of Star Wars,
The first
New
Star
Hope.
Wars. Oh,
Ah, good catch.
another
So-
Easter egg. Some
Yeah.
fanboy or fangirl had an orgasm when they heard that part.
Woo!
So the reason why this is funny and this is weird, not because of the festival, but this is where we meet our favorite guy from the OT. Your favorite guy, being sarcastic, Lando Calrissian. Meet him in a tent, and my wife and I, actually, my wife was one that kind of really ranted about this. Is Billy D. Williams hasn't been in any significant movie in a long time, and it was clearly obvious that he had lost a step here and there in his acting prowess, and it looked like he was reading off screen every moment he had when he was reading, and it was
Cue cards?
distracting. It was distracting, so distracting. And I was a fan of him growing up. You know, he was a cool guy, Colt 45, whatever. But you know, it's 2019. The dude's like what 70 something now.
He should have been Two-Face.
He's getting harassed because he's coming out as being pansexual. A lot of things are happening to him. So this was his last opportunity to finish the saga since everyone else had their moment. And I don't think this was the role or the right script for him. Dear God, no.
Yeah.
But again, when I first saw him on the screen, it was kind of nice. It was kind of nice for a second, and then I continued to watch, and I was like, oh boy, oh no, oh no, 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 no.
Wow. This scene also ups the ante for our Force connection.
Yes, this
So
he reveals that
no.
he was
Well,
well.
sorry,
Before
go
we
ahead.
get to that, he reveals that
Yeah.
he, with Luke, was tracking the assassin that had the dagger that the Wayfinder is supposed to be searching for.
Right. That was chasing Ray.
Yes.
Ray's parents, who are no longer nobody's drunkards.
Yes. So the very next scene, in same location, same setting, is when Kylo force FaceTimes Ray once again without her permission. This dude, no means no, man.
Right.
And he's able to not only molest her but pull a bead, one of the
She was given a bead by a kid or
by a
something
kid,
like that.
you
at the
know, a
festival.
la New Orleans, and Now he knows exactly where he's at. No, he doesn't. He gives it to one of the
No,
stormtrooper,
they
and they
have to
come back.
they
You
have
have
to
to
analyze it
analyze it. You have
first.
to
Yeah,
analyze it. All right, that would have
and
been
they
really far fetched if you knew exactly what
and
planet.
they found what they found was the grain of sand that was on the bead happened to belong to this one planet.
Wait, I thought they found what the beads were. They didn't. Did they analyze the
I
sand
think it was
on
the
the
dirt
beads?
that they found on it.
Yeah, the dirt and sand on the beads. They're able to analyze to figure what planet it was. Again, this is all sci-fi hokey pokey. I'm fine with that.
Right.
I'm
Right.
okay with
Yeah,
That's
that.
fine.
yeah.
It's
You know,
funny.
I already
Yeah.
suspend disbelief when he's able to force FaceTime and pull it right off of her.
Yep.
Yeah, when he had it in his hand, I was like, "Wait, what? What the hell just happened?"
Did
He just
wait, did he teleport to her or no? He just grabbed it from her. Like what?
Well, she kept changing locations. They do this thing where maybe they do it more the third time they do it, the Forest FaceTime, but all of a sudden she's not just seeing him while she's in her location. She feels like she's in a completely separate location. Like it's almost like he grabs her out of space and time
Yes,
and temporarily teleports her physically to where
where
he
he
is.
is.
Right, because he's not seeing her location.
Correct.
He's just seeing her, but he can physically interact
For
with
her.
her.
Yeah. Some cool force powers, man.
Wow, that's a little powerful if you
It's
ask
extremely
me.
powerful. But we're not even getting to what's powerful yet. We're getting there.
Right, yeah, we're getting there.
So after she's been uncovered by Kylo, she's with the rest of the group. I don't even think she mentioned this to the rest of the group. I think she just continues on the mission, and then they find the ship, right? They find the ship,
No, they start getting yeah.
and then they fall through quicksand.
Oh, they had to. You know what it was? They sent a group after them, but they jumped into that big
Oh,
sand
this
crawler
is
to
it.
hide,
Oh, wait a
and then
second. All right.
they
So the
hotwired
scene where
the
he was like,
speeders.
"We need to analyze where." Oh, we've analyzed it. We know where they are. The very next scene, a stormtrooper finds them and starts to chase. And I'm like, wait a
Right.
minute. He just said he knew where they are, and in the very next scene, there's already a stormtrooper on the planet saying, "We found them," and it starts to chase.
You don't know.
Right.
You don't know what they did.
This is like Game of Thrones that last season.
He FaceTimed with her again, and through the stormtrooper, through whatever portal he does, in order to grab stuff from her. But he can also send people through now, I
Yes,
guess.
he sent that one stormtrooper to
Oh my
confirm her
God.
location.
That's right.
And that starts to
And-
they're running and then fall into the quicksand, and then
Mhm.
So there's a note here in that we see Poe hotwire. I've never seen anyone have to use a key, but he hotwires a speeder when they go to run away, and Finn starts asking him why he
yes,
knows how to do that, and it
that
starts
begins
this
the banter
really
between the two of them.
silly.
What were you in your past life, and also what were you gonna tell Ray as they're
Right.
falling through the quicksand,
Ray.
right?
But they never
So
never
it was
really
this-
answered. Oh, they did, but
Man, the
Uh-huh.
it was
theory,
kind
he was
of
force
it was
sensitive.
kind of dumb. Yeah.
He was
No,
force-
no, not Finn. I'm talking about Poe.
Oh, he was
Like
a
they did
smuggler.
kind of answer it.
He was
Yeah.
a spice smuggler. He did say it. He was a spice smuggler,
Okay.
Like
yeah.
so what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was like
Who wasn't?
yeah.
Right?
like Han Solo and all the
Right.
other scoundrels of the Star Wars galaxy. He
But
comes from that ilk.
Poe didn't do the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs, so
Right.
No.
sorry.
So, what did you guys think of this? Again, another thing that was pretty cool that they showed in the trailers. What did you guys think of this chase? Was it interesting, fun,
It was boring.
boring?
It was
I
boring.
thought it was all right.
I think this time it
Boring.
was because I saw it in the trailer, not because it was filmed incorrectly or staged incorrectly. I just think it lost its appeal because we already knew it was coming in the trailer. So I don't blame the film the way, I mean, it looked great when I saw it in the trailer, but because I've already seen it, it lost its magic to me anyway when I saw it in the
Right.
movie. So I don't really fault the movie. I just think because that was something they probably didn't need to reveal in the trailer, keep it as a surprise. So it didn't do anything to me.
Mhm.
I was still flabbergasted about the whole bead stealing thing to
Right. Yeah.
to
Something
really
had
enjoy that
overtaken
moment.
it.
But what was about to happen next, as they fell through the quicksand, to me was like, and I didn't see The Mandalorian episode 7 before the
I
movie.
haven't seen it
Oh,
yet.
You
okay, so
guys
I'm
Either,
didn't
so
see it?
I
I
I
have
saw
thought
not
it.
you
seen
guys
it.
were gonna
I saw it
see
that
that.
night.
Okay,
Mike, I
okay.
saw it when we got home that night. I purposely watched it, my wife and son, right after that movie.
Yeah, I thought
I'll
you guys
watch
had
it.
seen it.
I
That's why I
just
told you after the
busy.
when I saw. I was like, that explains the tie-in from
Yes,
7. But you knew,
Oh
yeah,
no,
yes. So
you
there's a
yeah.
very
it's
big
fine.
scene in Mandalorian latest episode that ties into the cave, the cavern. After she to get the dagger, and the dagger is written in Sith, whatever. And by the way, C-3PO being able to understand and read it, but cannot voice it, to me was just pure
Speak it.
stupidity. Like your one purpose as a protocol droid is to what? Translate languages, and only that.
Well, and it's not like it's a like magic where if he says it wrong,
Right,
he might accidentally
it's not a
summon the
spell.
dead.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
right.
That's his one job in the entire Star Wars saga, was to
You'd
do
think.
exactly that.
But
Translate shit.
this whole scene was a setup of plot
I mean, you gotta
conveniences
wonder. You
that
gotta
was
wonder. Like, I would imagine in the Star Wars universe, there are archaeologists that go out and try and dig up. You know what I mean? Like Indiana Jones. And I would imagine they have a translator droid with them, right? That
Yes,
speaks 6 million languages.
hmm
And this
12
droid,
million. 12 million.
yeah. When did it go to 12?
It was 12 million.
I thought 3PO was fluent in 6 million forms of communication.
all right,
Anyway,
whatever. Well,
but okay, you get what I mean. Millions and millions of, and then you're gonna tell me that like an architect, the droid with this architect wouldn't be able to translate that Sith language if they found like old Sith ruins. You know what I mean?
Mike's
Yeah,
right
I
at
just
six
found it
million.
too.
Sorry.
Apologies, Mike.
You are you are
Yeah,
forgiven.
it is a weird. This whole
Apology accepted,
well,
Captain Yet.
so after the chase, they end up in quicksand, but the quicksand doesn't kill them. It leads to an underground cavern to a giant snake, and they just literally land on top of the corpse of the guy they were
The
searching an
assassin, yeah.
entire desert planet for that no
Well, that
one
Not
was
could
even
super
not
find.
even
easy.
Luke.
And that right. And they're this Sith artifact that I think like BB-8 looks over and goes, "Oh, boop 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 boop," and Ray goes, "I see it too," and picks up the artifact that they were looking for, right? And that's it. I was expecting danger. I was expecting a chase. I was expecting a, and no, they're just like, "Oh, hey,
It's right here.
that thing we were looking
And you know
for,
what? I,
it's right
I felt
here."
that was okay because it gave us
And
the
then
That
Ray,
was
first
convenient.
kind of slow moment at that point in the movie, because everything was happening at a breakneck speed. This was the first time we actually had to,
Right.
kind of.
I think I would have felt better if Ray was like, "Man, I'm being pulled in this direction. I don't know what it is, guys. We just got chased. We got away from them. Go over this way for some reason. I just feel it." And then they fall in the quicksand, and it kind of drives them that way. But it was get in the chase, blow up, land in the sand. You're on top of the
I mean,
thing.
that would have made sense. Her, now that we know she was a Palpatine, it would have made
Well,
sense.
she picks it up and she hears voices. She starts seeing flashbacks. So she starts hearing her mother, and seeing flashbacks of her past, right? Like all the negative feelings.
Yeah, she said something about a lot of terrible things were done with
Right.
this
How
dagger.
exactly did she? How's that work?
Well, remember in The Force Awakens when she touches the lightsaber and she kind of gets the reflections
The
of the
memories of
yeah.
the saber.
Basically, she does the same thing with the dagger.
Yeah, she has a Force
Okay.
connection. I think it was one of the damn old legends where certain Jedi had like Force connection with mechanical objects. They could
Well, I know
sense,
the Sith.
the
I know the
history,
Sith was
memories.
strong in trying to do that kind of stuff with technology, but I didn't
Yeah,
think the
Well,
Jedi,
now
old
we know.
Jedi. Yeah, so I guess because it's a Sith,
Well,
what
it's
do you call it? A Sith lineage, right? So I guess that makes more sense. Yeah.
but she
yeah,
did it with Anakin's
yeah.
lightsaber too. So is that a
Hmm.
Sith artifact?
I don't. He wasn't really officially Sith
No,
though.
well, it is. No, no. He wasn't a Sith. That saber wasn't a Sith
He
saber,
used
but I
it.
think you could
Didn't
still
he
have the
use it
power.
to kill the younglings?
That's true. He did turn Sith at
So
that
it's
point.
possible.
He's I pledge my allegiance to you,
Okay.
Okay.
Darth
So
Right. Darth
Vader.
Vader. Yeah.
I mean, if you're a casual fan, you probably wouldn't make that. I didn't make that connection until we were just chatting about it. So,
Right.
but
Same
yeah,
here. Yeah.
Again, we are filling in the gaps that the story that Chris Terrio
right.
himself
I
couldn't
wish
do.
I had this
So it doesn't
podcast
count.
while I was watching it. Excuse me, guys. I gotta listen. I
Follow
gotta listen
along,
to
ladies and
listen to
gentlemen.
my
Follow
future
along.
self tell me what I'm missing.
The companion guide to this movie.
So then we get the scene with the snake to end this whole section.
Yes.
You want?
And after you watch Mandalorian, we can talk more about it.
Yeah. So just FYI, I'm having podcasts next time. I'm just gonna, because our podcast won't be out, I'm gonna take Jody's corner with me and listen to him screaming in my ear. Yeah. Go on.
So basically, there's a giant snake. You expect them to kill it like every Star Wars beast. You just shoot it or you fight it or whatever. But Rey basically does she speaks parcel tongue and she walks over and she heals the snake and it gets out of the way and then lets him out. So it's our first introduction to Force healing, I think. Right?
No. If you had watched The Mandalorian,
no. In this movie series,
in this movie, yes.
in the trilogy, you're right.
Because you're right. Baby Yoda heals.
Right. So let's explain the tie-in with episode 7 of The Mandalorian, where in this episode, our Mandalorian gets hurt, and actually in episode
that wasn't Mandalorian.
Sorry, in episode 2, Mandalorian gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And Baby Yoda tries to heal him, but he stops him. So we don't get to see it at that point. This time around, who was it that got hurt? I forgot.
Carl Weathers' character.
Yeah, okay. So he got hurt, and then Baby Yoda walks up, puts his hand on him.
Badly, too.
Yeah.
Badly hurt.
Right. And then heals his gut wound.
All right, that's interesting. Well, I'll see that probably.
I'm curious, though, because we're trying to understand is when you use this power, it apparently sucks life force out of you, like your health meter.
Yes.
Your health meter goes down.
Your chi. Your chi, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rey actually says, she says it out loud. She says, I use some of my life force to heal him.
Yes. So just so you guys know, force healing does exist in the now Legends books.
Mm.
As a Jedi and good, light side ability, not a dark side ability.
So it really felt like they took 20 they said, okay, these are all the force abilities, let's split them up between these two people. It doesn't matter how powerful or how much training you supposedly need, they have them, and we're just going to release them as necessary.
Yes, because we'll find out later on because they're dyads.
It's the end of the movies, just give them all up.
One thing I'm curious about, though, is for those who watched The Mandalorian and they saw what Baby Yoda did to Carl Weathers, and the fact that we know it takes life force out of you, Carl Weathers' wound was pretty severe. So I'm wondering how strong this Baby Yoda is.
Well, we're actually going to get there in this movie
able
as well.
to do that. Yeah.
But
what do you mean in the movie?
In this movie, Rey does the same thing.
No, I know, but it takes a toll.
Rey's an adult. Yeah, Rey's an adult, and it took a toll. Someone died.
Yeah,
yeah, but Baby Yoda has more life ahead of him. I'm assuming he's got more
midichlorians.
He also has 900.
That's what I'm saying.
900 years to bank.
This Baby Yoda has to be extremely powerful to be that young, that small, and to be able to do what he did. And basically just say, okay, all I need is a nap right now.
Taking a nap.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think a Yoda is the full Yoda is 900 years old, whereas like your average age of a Jedi is like 45. They all die pretty young.
Well, let's continue on a track of like obscene powers, because we're getting there. We're getting there.
Right
after the snake is healed, we actually go out now to the desert with the dagger. So while the banter between Finn and Poe is going on, and Finn realizes, oh, where's Rey? Whatever, because they're back in the ship. They're trying to figure out how to decipher the dagger.
Can I say something about the ship here?
Go ahead.
So this ship is left in the desert, in the middle of the desert, by this bounty hunter, supposedly 30 years ago, and it's completely intact.
Yeah.
In The Mandalorian, his ship was in the desert for like 10 seconds and was stripped for parts.
Wait, you think that's absurd? What about Luke's X-wing being in the water of Octo for like, I don't know, 10 years maybe, and he resurfaces as a Force ghost, and Rey just hops in, puts helmet on, and it flies to the to the next mission. Like
Oh,
the whole thing is absurd.
all right. So anyway, so yeah, they're getting in this beat up ship to try to leave. All right.
Yeah. And then Finn, using the Force, realizes something is odd, and looks and see Rey's already out the ship. She's gone. Right?
She sent something too. Sensed.
He sent something too. Our buddy Chewbacca, and one of our saddest scenes, he goes out ready to provide support, and in the next scene you see him in handcuffs. Like, yeah, buddy, where are you going?
There wasn't even
Get
any
in here.
dead stormtroopers in that area. What the hell?
Like, he just, I give up type of thing. Like, this is sad. Like, come on, Chewie, what are you doing
That
like
could have
that?
been a great little battle. That could have been a great
Yes, it could have
Chewie
been.
part.
Like, you take 3 of them out, especially if you thought what was going to happen next actually did happen.
Right.
He went out, he took out a couple of them, and he got hit behind his head, and then they cuffed him, and then they were dragging him to the ship.
Right. He was walking.
That would have made sense.
He was walking.
He's like, I give up. I just totally give up.
Mm-hmm.
So, which sets up the whole scene with Rey and Kylo's ship.
So
which we saw in the trailer. We saw
another one.
Those were the first trailers that we've seen. In fact, the first trailer we've seen for this movie.
So Kylo's going full steam ahead in his TIE silencer at her in the desert.
Did he even shoot a blaster
no,
at
he
her?
didn't shoot. He just basically just straight up attack. Just
I don't know what was his end game there. What was his plan?
He says something to her when she sees that he's alive after his ship explodes.
No, I mean while he's charging at her with his TIE fighter.
He specifically says, "I was testing you" or something like that. I wanted to see what power or something to that.
Come on.
So
dumb.
she turns around after she blows up, cuts his wing off his ship. He spirals out of control, explodes. She turns around, sees Chewie not fighting back, walking into a transport, and then her and Kylo start chattering. This is where Kylo is actually like, I was testing you. I want to know how powerful you are and all this. And then she's like, get the hell away from me. And this is where the transport takes off.
Yes, the transport that we believe has poor, given up
neutered Chewbacca.
Neutered Chewbacca. Take it off, and then she starts force pulling it back. And meanwhile, Finn and Poe now they're out. They're watching this happen, right? Force pulling her back.
So she goes from barely lifting rocks to now moving the entire starship.
With the engines running too. The engines are blasting.
Right.
This feels like the Captain America scene when he was holding
the helicopter.
Yeah.
Should have the music too.
But a helicopter versus a thruster trying to break atmosphere. So
right. But it's the Force versus a super soldier.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Poe comes, and Poe does one of the many dumb things he does throughout this movie. Instead of just force hurling her away so that she can go away, he's like, I'm gonna play tug of war with her.
Right, they're playing tug of war with a starship. It's like they said, hey, you guys thought her doing stuff kind of early was too strong. Wait till you guys see this. So yeah.
So she's going back and forth with Poe, and I guess she taps into the dark side somehow.
With
I'm sorry, not Kylo. With Kylo, she taps into the dark side somehow and unleashes for the first time in this saga and this trilogy, because I don't think Snoke did it.
No.
Yeah, she unleashed Force lightning, nice, beautiful blue and red Force lightning, which promptly blows up the ship as expected.
I have to say, this scene, it surprised me. I was not expecting that of anything in Star Wars universe. I was not expecting that, and I was like, "You bastards!"
Okay, let's stop right there for a second because I'm with you there. I wasn't expecting it, and it was like I'm not gonna say I was happy Chewie died, but it was like oh snap, like okay, yeah,
Chewie's
Chewie's
dead.
dead,
Oh man, another old one
right?
dead. You deserve
But
better.
it was a good scene that at that moment, yeah,
They thought they took a
right.
risk.
But no,
Oh, 2 seconds later.
I bet you that during the test screenings, they're like, "Oh, the audience is responding poorly to this. Where do you film all this footage? And we need to show how powerful she is." He goes, "All right, here's this dude misdirection." There was another transport that was off screen and no one saw that had Chewie in it.
Yeah,
This was just the other transport ship.
this was weird to me because I was like, I was trying to think if I saw like a transport behind them because
no,
No,
that transport was in full view of
right.
everybody. Right? Everybody was watching Chewie walk on, and then it took off. It's like, wait, when did this? Remember,
this is not the transport ship you're looking at.
remember those old magic shows
Walk
they do,
away.
like, oh, I'm gonna make this the Statue of Liberty disappear,
Yeah,
right? It felt like
Yeah.
that
David
level
Copperfield.
magic, right?
Misdirection, man. We all got suckered.
Yeah. So immediately we just see Chewie up on the as a captive. I've got a captive, sir.
So even before that, so she's heart stricken, and this is probably the first time I think I seen the actress playing Rey show true emotion at what she just did, right? So Rey and Poe are sculling her back to the ship, and Kylo's just standing there, kind of like just looking at it. I guess he doesn't have a ship, so he's kind of stuck, just standing there.
Like
No force powers, nothing. He's just gonna watch them escape, and that'll be that. So that's when now they're on the ship.
yeah, there wasn't a battle. They didn't shoot at him. Like Poe didn't come out with a blasting. Like it was weird.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They just like separated. Like, oh shit,
Okay.
we
All
didn't
right, see
we didn't mean that to happen.
see you later. Yeah,
So Poe comes up with an idea to go to this other planet to get the information from, because C-3PO makes a kind of like a little joke. By the way, C-3PO was probably the funniest character this particular movie. Like they gave Anthony Daniels some lines that to me was actually hilarious, and I actually laughed.
And you know what?
wait,
Where
wait,
you
wait,
say
wait.
it feels
What?
more like Star Wars, that's a Star Wars.
Yeah,
thing.
wait, but are you laughing at the
C-3PO being-
ones where he's trying to be funny? Well, not trying to be funny, but meant to be funny, or are you laughing at the ones that were meant to be sad? Okay.
I'm laughing at both. I'm laughing
Okay.
at both. I'm laughing. That's why I'm saying that he was hilarious to
Right.
me, because even when intentional comedy meter was at this highest
Yeah.
with him, but also the comedy was also pretty good, pretty
Okay.
spot on. So so they came up with the idea that, oh, he said, I still have the memory of what I read, I just can't translate it. So Poe was like, oh, there's a planet where we can get somebody that can be able to do it, but it's gonna wipe his memory, blah blah blah. And everyone's like all of a sudden sad. I'm like, do you guys not know that he's been mind wiped like 50 million different times?
Actually, this was kind of fun. I kind of liked this section for C-3PO because everybody was kind of really dismissive of C-3PO. They
Mhm.
were every time he'd try to say something, Finn
Yeah,
would
shut the hell up. Yeah.
Poe would tell him to shut up. And so when he said, "Oh, it'd be really dangerous. I could have my mind wiped," they were all kind of on board. Whereas he was like, "What? What? Wait a minute, dudes.
Yeah.
This is my brain." But
This is
you're
my
right.
brain. It's my
Uh,
essence.
They said, "Don't you get backed up by R2?" And he said something about R2 being
Old.
yeah, it's just something about him being unreliable when
It's
it comes
unreliable. Yeah, he did say that. I think the key word was unreliable.
Yeah,
I
well,
remember
you
hearing
expect these. Like, what is the lifespan supposed to be for these droids? Like, I build a PC, and I'm lucky if I get 2 years out of it. My phone.
that. Well, you forget that Anakin built
Oh,
C-3PO,
I guess,
so
but
Right.
using the
but nobody
Force.
who built R2 then, right? R2 probably came from a factory.
That's true.
Yeah, he's just a standard.
Yeah, astromech.
So that sets them off on their idea to get this information out of his brain.
This is where the entire movie starts going south real quick.
Starts. I don't know. I
Well,
think
okay.
we were past the equator already. So.
Through the completion of the third act, I was like, it's still salvageable. It could still be better than Last Jedi.
Okay.
Come on, I was hoping.
I thought
All
it
right.
was
Okay.
okay. Anyway, I'll give my thoughts later.
Yeah. This whole middle act to me was just like, what the fuck is happening? Like we go to the place where he meets Kerry Russell's character. I forgot what her thing was. I think they might have dated before, whatever.
Probably.
But they find
Yeah.
probably the second funniest, if not the funniest character in the movie was that little puppet guy, whatever his name is.
But
The dude that was talking like
Fricka
half
Babu or
English,
Babu Frick or something like that.
half
Babu
Dwarven.
Freak. I think it was Babu
Yeah.
Freak.
I can fix it. Whatever that was hilarious.
That town. Did that town look like really low quality Star Wars
Yes.
setting to you?
Looked like the Sci-Fi Channel.
Right. It was like they land on this planet and they're trying to do. It's kind of like a lot of stairs and like I'm trying to think what cities I've seen movies.
It looked like something out of it looked
Sci-fi.
something out of
Remind me of-
Stargate SG-1 or something, you know?
Yeah.
Or did you get any of you guys watch Krypton
Yeah,
on Sci-Fi? I think a lot of that set was reused from that show.
So yeah, they're kind of trying to sneak around. They actually have C-3PO in like a cloak and hood.
Oh yeah, that was the dude's metallic gold, and they're putting a cloak around him. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man.
And they're supposedly sneaking at night, and there were guards, First Order guards all over the place.
Yes, something that was happening off screen and it was supposed to make us feel sad, like there were bombings or they're trying to make it look like the Middle East. Something was happening, where it was like conflict of war. There were like
it was
sporadic bombings
well,
were
no,
happening.
the First Order was attacking,
the
right?
First Order.
So
Yeah,
They were
random.
attacking and kidnapping kids or something.
Oh, I think
wait,
he
isn't
said
this
he
the
wanted
planet?
to build an
Isn't
army.
this the planet they destroyed with the
Yes.
weapon, right?
That comes later.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
that comes later.
okay, so
it is.
we meet this First Order has a new general in charge over Hux.
Yes.
So we get this switch from Hux, who, and admittedly, even though as a fan of The Last Jedi, Hux was played as a clown.
Yeah.
And so basically we get this new guy who's now ahead of Hux, who's standard Star Wars Imperial mean guy, right?
Yeah, he's old school Imperial.
And so he orders, I think he just orders a general idea that they need more clone troopers and they're going to steal more kids. So
Yes.
we have this general idea that now they're upping the ante and attacking random towns, cities, planets to steal more kids for the army.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Correct. Meanwhile, Poe's old girlfriend and what's supposed to be like a very sentimental moment is like, I'm here to help you, but leave with me. Let's go to that dream vacation we always wanted in the South Pacific. Let's leave this war behind us. And he's like, I can't, not until the war is over.
Just for our audience, FYI, this is the character played by Kerry Russell. Because people
Yes.
were wondering
And
who she was going to be in the movie, right?
Zori
Yeah.
Bliss. That's
Right.
her character's name.
She stays in this weird kind of pointy gold helmet with a
Mhm.
like lycra red suit underneath.
She looked like a
It's
speed
kind of
skater.
Yes. I think she removed the visor once just so you could see her
saw
eyes.
you saw her eyes for like 10 seconds so they could
Yeah.
lock eyes for a moment.
So at that moment, Rey senses through the Force that Chewie in the Starship Destroyer that's right above them is alive. So she's like, we gotta go mount a rescue mission. And Kerry Russell's character, Zori Bliss, sorry, is like, here, take my chip. The chip that I was telling you that I'm gonna need to retire, and I hope you can come join me. Forget about that. Your mission is more important than my retirement. I'm gonna stick here on this
I
planet.
don't know who this Chewy
Well-
guy is, but it sounds like you care about him, so here you
Right.
go.
And this was 5 minutes after she threatened to blow his head
Mhm.
off twice.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden she's like giving up her entire retirement so they can go mount a rescue. Yeah, it was a quick turnaround for that character to go to turn really good really
You
quickly.
can't resist Poe Dameron's eyes, I guess.
Except for Finn.
Speaking
he can do
Speaking
it.
of resisting, so at this moment, this is where Kylo and Rey have another one of their forced FaceTimes, and then, like how before he was able to steal the beads from her and realize where she
Mhm.
was, he uses the next opportunity, straight violating, and senses that they're already on the ship because they're doing the whole mount the rescue to get
Yeah.
Chewie, because she used a medallion that Poe's ex-girlfriend gave to him, and they're able to get on the Starship Destroyer, and she actually breaks into his bedroom with Grandpa Anakin's skull
Mask.
and remains. And while he's forced FaceTiming her, they have another battle of sabers, and she knocks over. This is where it gets weird. So, Chris, you said that he can basically pull her into where he's at to locate her, but because of the Force duel, she knocks over the Palpatine,
The Vader
the
helmet.
Anakin,
The Vader helmet.
the
Yeah.
Vader helmet, and remains, and that gets splashed into where he's at.
Right.
All right, so this
And
whole
I'm like,
scene, this is an amazing setup of coincidences that is just next level coincidences. So Kylo's ship just happens to come to this planet. I don't even know why they're at this planet. I don't know.
they don't tell you.
And
Not that I remember.
this-
No.
even though these two have this massive connection,
Uh-huh.
they don't sense each other. She senses Chewie
Right.
on
Yeah.
the ship. I don't know how that happens. Remember the whole, oh, I sense my old student. I sense my father. I sense Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Right? So they go up just at the same time as Kylo Ren goes down to the surface
hmm
with, and this is our first introduction to the Knights of Ren, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Mm.
The whole introduction to this amazing, this is Star Wars, General Star Wars level, like dismissal of cool looking
Yeah.
characters.
There was so much potential there for them.
They walk by some guy and he goes, "Who's that?" Another guy
Knights of-
goes, "That's the
Knights
Knights of
of
Ren."
Ren.
Cool.
Cool. Doofus.
Cool. He literally says cool.
Doofus. The first doofus in this movie.
Ugh.
So,
So anyway,
Poe and Ray
so
get caught.
so yeah, they split up. They split up because she senses. Doesn't she sense the dagger or something?
By the way, they're still having their continuing banter about each other during this whole mission.
Okay.
It was freaking irritating.
All right, so I know what's going on. She decides she saves Chewie, but has to go get his stuff because he had the dagger.
Yes.
So Chewie goes with the other two. So she's by herself, wandering.
Wait, hold on.
being
Funny
seen this
moment.
entire journey.
C-3PO. They give him all of Chewie's, the belt, the gun. They dump like
Oh,
a
this
bunch of
is-
stuff on C-3PO.
Right.
And again, funny dude.
So you know what?
And this is
Hang on,
where-
let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
You know what I think that was? A callback to when Chewie had to carry 3PO on Cloud City.
Empire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's good.
Good call.
Good call. Because that's also was a way to push fans around when they had him on the poster with the bowcaster, and everybody was saying that he was going to be like a murder bot or
evil
something
3PO,
temporarily.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So anyway, because they get separated, Poe and Finn are having their bickering, their best friend bickering or whatever
Lovers' quarrel.
about Poe's past for some reason. And this is where Rey finds the bedroom with all of the
Magic
all
happens.
of the right. This
Hey guys, can I stop you right there for a sec? Did we pass the part
Yeah.
where Finn tells Rey he wants to tell her something?
that happened way back when they fell
Yeah,
into
we didn't
the
mention that.
sand pit.
There was
No,
something he wanted to
No.
tell her.
On the ship. It happened again on the ship. It was a repeating thing.
Oh.
So when they were on the Starship Destroyer, he brought that up
Okay,
again
so every
too.
time they were kind of in danger.
And then Poe was like, "So what was it? You can tell her, but you can't tell me." Something like that.
Yeah, so they were going back and forth with Poe saying, "Why can't you tell me?"
Yeah.
And with Finn asking what about Poe's past. So
Right.
I can see where that
They got old quick.
got annoying.
Yep.
So this is the big thing. Rey is in this stark white room with all of the Sith stuff, and this is when, as you mentioned, James, she gets forced into another conversation she didn't want.
No respect.
But instead of just grabbing something, she actually gets pushed into back and forth between the locations because the camera starts to pan. The two of them start walking around one another, and the camera pans with them in the circle,
Mhm.
right? And she's bouncing back and forth between locations, like physically. And then she pulls her saber, he pulls his saber, and they get in a saber battle, which bounces back and forth between locations until what we saw again, a cool scene we see in the trailer. Their sabers cross and they knock over
But
Vader's
not
helmet.
before he tells her past. Because she gets
Oh my
knocked
God! I
off
can't believe
because
I
she's
forgot
like
this.
mentally shocked at that moment, and then she falls and hits the
Uh,
the
yes, that
podium.
is where it
Yeah,
happened.
there was a whole
He says
monologue. Yeah.
you're a
Mhm.
Palpatine,
She was like,
and she's like,
"What?"
right, and everybody was like, what? Yeah, she wasn't the only
I'm
one
sure
shocked
a
by
couple
that.
of folks just got up at the movie at that point and walked out.
there were,
Ryan Johnson was sitting in his living room at that moment and he felt smacked in the head. He was like, "What was that?
uh,
Jeez, ghosts around here." So anyway,
mhm.
um, so this is where and Kylo goes, "Oh, they're on my ship," and they all get in their ships and head back. And there's a fight to get to their ship. And Poe and Finn and them find the Falcon and they kind of get out.
No, they get captured first. They get captured, and that's when General Hux, is it?
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
The Hux
shit!
he's
reveal.
like,
Huh.
Yeah.
I'll get him from here. I'll take him. It'll be my
Yeah.
pleasure to
Go
finish
ahead.
them. And then he actually kills the stormtroopers.
Woo-hoo.
Is like, I'm the spy. Like, what?
Right, he just
I'm the
says it.
spy.
He literally says,
And
"I'm
then
the
he's helping them
spy."
escape. And Finn asks him, why are you doing this? He goes, I don't care if you guys win or lose. I just want Kylo to lose. And I'm like,
Which, you know what? That is an okay motivation, but
If you're a teenager.
the 10 but there's 10 seconds of it. Like there's no like you don't see Huck previously in the movie sneaking around. You're like, "Oh, maybe Huck's doing something
Yeah,
weird."
there was no
It's just
build up
like,
to it, and then there was no payoff
"Bam,
after he did it. Like,
I'm the
yeah.
spy. He's dead." That's it. It was like, "Oh,
that made absolutely no sense.
everything." It was just a way to get them out, I guess. So they jump in the
He
Falcon.
probably gets killed for being the spy.
Like, okay, I guess they had cameras or something. I don't know. So yeah, he gets killed for the spy, and this is where Rey is by herself on the platform. Again, you see this in the trailer. Her and Kylo are facing off in this empty hangar. You got that super blue light. You got all of the stormtroopers, and to get away, she has to make a leap while the engines of the Falcon are what? They're like full
Full
tilt,
tilt.
and the
They're
Falcon is,
pushing everyone, and then Kylo's using the Force to keep himself steady while everybody
and
else is
she's just
flying off.
standing
And
there.
she's not even using the Force. She's just standing. Like she was just. It didn't look like there was anything pushing her. Only Kylo
Nope.
was being pushed, and he was holding himself using the Force, and everyone else in that hangar was just getting blown left and right all over the place.
Right, and then she makes that Superman leap over to the Falcon.
Incredible.
Again, it's a cool looking
I'm still
scene.
shaking my head now, as if I was there watching it all over again.
So yeah, it was just like, wait, the Falcon's full tilt, but it's not actually moving anywhere. What are these engines doing?
Terrible. Terra
And
fucking
they
bull.
escape. Is this? Would you consider this halfway through the
Yeah,
movie?
we're definitely halfway through. So they arrived on the planet where the Wayfinder's supposed to be, and that's really just where the remnants of the Death Star, right? By the way, watching Return of the Jedi again earlier this morning, they showed very little pieces of or any remnants of that flying in that explosion. So we have to suspend disbelief and forget what we saw in Return of the Jedi and imagine a large husk of the Death Star that exploded over Endor, landed on this other planet, which was another moon of Endor, apparently,
Mhm.
and landed to the point where it didn't disintegrate or burn everything around it. It just landed calmly in that ocean. To the point where everything, to the point where the Emperor's throne room was intact still. Holy shit.
Right, that was weird.
Mind you, the
And there
Death
was
Star that blew up wasn't even fully built. It was partially complete.
right, yeah. Well, the old practical effects really could just do like a little
Okay,
pop
you're
of,
right. You're
of
right. So let's
spark.
imagine a good chunk
So
of this landed from space into this planet to the point where power is still being supplied to the doors and mechanisms for you to walk around.
that was weird. I was like, wait, did she do that with the
No,
Force? Wait, what?
she didn't.
No, you're right, because it was that there, she discovered. Oh, before we get there, we meet what's her name? Uh,
Uh,
Jonna.
Jana. Yes, Jana, a
Jonna
resistance sympathizer. Former stormtrooper, we find out.
with
Yes,
horses,
horses. First time
cool
horses are in Star
fuzzy
Wars
horses,
movies.
fuzzy
Yeah,
horses.
ponies.
Something.
So, but they have to find a way to get over this really harsh ocean to get there, and they have to find where in this wreckage the okay, they have to find where in this massive wreckage they might find the artifact, and then Rey picks up the dagger, and it's shaped exactly as the wreckage, not like a 5,000-year artifact that is shaped like a temple. It's the wreckage is shaped like the.
Yeah, the wreckage that
I couldn't
was
believe.
created after the dagger was built. Yes, that wreckage.
And it had a little pullout. It had a little
Yes,
pullout thing that pointed to the
yes,
to the emperor's
like the civil
emperor's
engineering
throne.
tool. Yes,
It was, and they're like, "How can we ever get over there? Those are bad waves. We'll do it tomorrow." And everybody walks
and then
away,
10 seconds
and then
later, Ray's
Ray.
already out. It's a sail ship, and she's already out there. She's out there. She gets to the ship. She gets to the Death Star remnants that are again still intact. Doors opening. There's some emergency lights that are still on because there's a generator somewhere that's powering this bad boy. And she walks into the hidden room behind the Emperor's throne room, and she sees her dark vision. Her future Sith self, telling to embrace the darkness, embrace the truth.
Mhm.
I mean, she's a Palpatine, blah blah blah, hoopty hoo. She goes past it.
And she gets in this battle. Oh wait, no,
No,
she
so she
doesn't.
finds the Wayfinder, and before she even gets a chance to do anything with it, Kylo
Holocron.
Holocron. He appears. At this point, I thought he was just a vision, like another one of his violating Force FaceTiming. Oh no, sir. He's actually there. Somehow, with no ship, with nothing, he appeared right in that area and force grabbed the holocron from her and crushed it. This is probably one of the last times I was like, "Get me the freak out of here." Oh no, we still got more to come. But I was like, "This is no saving this movie. We're officially done."
Yeah, I think he can just force teleport. That's what we're giving him. We're
I
giving the power to
guess.
So
force
they start
teleport.
fighting because he's trying to get her to turn, and she's like, "No, I'm gonna go kill Palpatine, whatever, blah blah blah." And they get to the surface and they're fighting, and Finn makes it there with Jana, and Jana's like, "Leave her alone. She don't like you. You're in the friend zone." And he's like, "No, one more chance, one more chance. I'm the one for you. He's your cousin."